Hello, elementary school students across America and on United States military bases around the world. It is time once again for Michael T. Mondak Reads. I'm the epidemist Michael T. Mondak, and I'm back with you on this Wednesday to virtually read one picture book to you, your parents, and your potential teachers for next school year. But I can't do it without a preview as to what I'll be reading, and here it is for this Wednesday. Now, months ago, I told you that I am not one of those people that would ever get stage fright. I personally love being on the stage, performing in front of all my female fans and receiving lots of balloons from them. Well, that is, some others also like being on the stage. That is, except for Piggy. She was supposed to perform in a piano recital, but she ended up getting stage fright, and it was up to her friends to help her overcome it. Part of a storyline written by Louise Gico and illustrated by Tom Cook titled Muppet Kids and Piggy Gets the Jitters. Let's get started. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Piggy's piano teacher, Ms. Hickory, counted out the beats as Piggy played her exercises. "That was very good," said Ms. Hickory when Piggy had finished. "Now don't forget, dear, the piano recital is next Sunday at 3 o'clock. Have you picked out a piece that you'd like to play?" "Picked out a piece," Piggy groaned to herself as she walked home. "What am I going to do?" Piggy wouldn't admit it to anyone, but she was terrified of playing the piano in front of an audience. "I'll make billions of mistakes," she worried. "Not many good at all. Not like Ralph. All the practicing in the world won't help. I'll make a fool out of myself next Sunday. I just know it." The next day in school, Ralph came up to her during lunch. "Hi, Piggy," he said. "Do you know what you're doing for the recital next Sunday?" "Oh, gee," said Piggy. "I think I have something to do. I have to do now on Sunday. Like, iron my socks. I don't think my mom's going to let me go to the recital at all." "Gee, that's too bad," said Ralph. "I have a great piece picked out. It's going to be fun." How can Ralph think that playing in front of all those people can be fun, Piggy wondered as she walked home from school with Skeeter and Janice later that day. "All it is scary." "Hey, Piggy," said Skeeter, interrupting Piggy's gloomy thoughts. "You've been awfully quiet. Is there anything wrong?" Piggy started. No," she said quickly. Nothing at all." She wasn't going to admit for a second that she was afraid. But what was she going to do? For the next few days, all Piggy could think about was finding a way out of her recital. She played softball every afternoon with Kermit and the gang, hoping she'd sprain her wrist. But all that happened was that she hit 5 home runs and her team won every game. She went outside in the rain without an umbrella, hoping that she'd get a cold. But when her mom took her temperature, it was perfectly normal. By Friday, Piggy was very scared. And what was worse, she'd spent so much time trying to figure out a way out of her recital, she hadn't practiced the piano once. After school, Piggy was sitting on a swing in the park when Ralph wandered by. "Hi, Piggy," he said. "You ready for the recital?" Piggy felt something inside her go plunk. "Oh, Ralph," she cried. "What am I going to do?" "About what?" Ralph asked. I might as well tell you. I haven't practiced all week. I haven't slept all week. I don't want to play in the recital. I'm too scared." "Gee, Piggy, what are you scared about? Recitals are fun," Ralph said. "Maybe for you," Piggy groaned. You play really well, but I just know I'll make a fool out of myself in front of all those people." Rolf nodded. "I think I understand," he said. "You're suffering from a massive case of stage fright." "What can I do?" Piggy asked tearfully. "Come over to my house," Rolf suggested. "Maybe I can help." When Piggy and Rolf got there, Rolf poured them each a glass of milk. Then they sat at the kitchen table and talked. "Look," said Rolf, "what's the absolutely positively worst thing that can happen?" "I'll be terrible and everyone will laugh at me," Piggy said in a very small voice. "Oh, and is that really so awful?" Rolf said. "Of course it is," said Piggy. "Isn't it?" Rolf shook his head. "Think about it," he said. "Sure, you'd feel bad for a while. Nothing would really change. We'd still be your friends. Your mom would still love you." Piggy began to feel a little better. "There's another thing, though," Rolf went on. "Come on." He led Piggy over to his piano. You don't have to make lots of mistakes at all if you do one very important thing," he told her. "What's that?" Piggy asked eagerly. "Practice," said Rolf. So that's what Piggy did for the rest of the afternoon. Rolf helped her pick out a nice simple piece, and they worked on it together. Then Piggy went home, and all that evening and the next day she stayed home and practiced. Even when Kermit came by and asked her to go for a walk, she didn't leave the piano. As a matter of fact, Kermit decided to stay and listen for a while. "Sounds great, Piggy," he said. "You're going to be terrific tomorrow." "Hope so," said Piggy, feeling a little flutter in her stomach. The next day, Piggy woke up really early. Her insides felt sort of tickly. For a moment, she didn't know why. But then she remembered the recital. "Well," she thought, taking a deep breath, "I practiced as much as I could, and I know my piece. Now I just have to try my best." Piggy got all dressed up and ready to go. "I can do it," she kept repeating to herself. "I know I can do it." The piano recital was being held at Miss Hickory's music studio. Piggy's friends were all in the audience, and Rolf had saved her a seat in the front row with the other piano students. "How you feeling?" he whispered to her as she sat down. "Nervous," Piggy admitted. "It's only natural," Rolf said, grinning encouragingly at her. "So am I. I know you'll be great." "Maybe not great," Piggy said, and smiled a little. "But I'll be okay." When Piggy got up to play, her mouth was dry. She sat down at the piano and looked out at the audience. All her friends smiled up at her. For a second, she closed her eyes in a panic. Then she took a deep breath. "I can do it," she said to herself. "Practiced hard. No, I can do it." And then she put her fingers on the keys and began to play. Piggy's performance wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good. A funny thing happened. As she played, Piggy actually began to enjoy herself a little. She started to feel lots of good feelings coming to her from her friends in the audience. It wanted her to do well. That made everything easier. When Piggy had finally finished, everybody clapped and clapped. She stood up and took a bow. "Very proud of you, Piggy," said Ms. Hickory. "You gave a lovely performance." That made Piggy feel good. But what made herself feel even better was being proud of herself. She thought Piggy wasn't so bad. In fact, I sort of liked being on stage with everybody watching. And maybe, thought Piggy, I'll even get a chance to do it again sometime. And that, boys and girls, concludes the story. Look for me again Thursday at the same time on the same channel. And I'll be waiting for you.